Hello and welcome to a midweek edition of Wardy's Waffle. Hope you're all having a good week. Time's marching on, so I'm just looking at Nala. Time's marching on now, soon be July, soon be harvest, but we haven't got any crops ready to harvest, I shouldn't think, till early August. We haven't any winter barley, and we haven't any oilseed rape either. So I'm stood in the Hericot beans here, got little Frankie there. I'm stood in the Hericot beans here. We have got an update on that in this feature, in this video. I'll just show you these. You can see they are very different to ordinary beans, and they are starting to grow now, grow away. The flowers are just starting to develop. There's the flower head just there, if you can see that. Just also, while I'm just showing you my nail, a few people have asked me to give you an update on my nail. This was 6 weeks ago, last Sunday, when I trapped it in a car door, and it is coming off. It's coming off on half of it, but yeah, if you look at that, it's coming off down this side, whereas the other side has a bit of nail left to it. But it's going to be a long while before that comes away. It's starting to grow away from the bottom now. I don't know whether you can pick it up. Anyway, so apologise for those of you who didn't want to see my grotty nail, but some of you did. Yeah, so this week's update, we'll take a look at Blackgrass and how we're getting on with the Blackgrass pulling. It's a big job, never-ending job. We've got a little bit more than we have normal years, but we're getting on top of it. And I'll show you the areas that we round up off, and we look at that. Also looking at our stewardship areas, we've got here lovely wildlife, wildflower plot down the side here. We take a look at that because that is full of insects and wildlife and bees and everything, which is great to see. And also I'll say this update on these Hericot beans. So that's it from me. Quite a short intro this week. No rant from me. I actually have a call with DEFRA today, sort of the RPA, which I will put up on at the next update. Anyway, that's it from me. Let's crack on with this update. Thanks for watching, and here we go. I'm in the first field that we sprayed a plot of blackgrass off with Roundup, with glyphosate. This was done probably over 2 weeks ago now, and I'm just got to the line here where it's done. I'll turn the camera around in a minute, but I still think this is the best way of doing it to stop blackgrass seed. You can see here's the line, so that way the blackgrass has been killed as well as the wheat crop, but that's fine. Here it hasn't, so I'll just show you when I flip the camera around. That is the area that's dead. We've lost around 1.3 tons of wheat, I've calculated, in that area, but that's so if it gets to £200 a ton, so that's what's that, £260 altogether in there. But that's nothing compared to the amount of good that's doing in not letting the blackgrass seed. You can see, if I get close up to it, you can see the blackgrass now there, that plant there, another one there in line with Nala, another one there. All those, these are the blackgrass that there's too many to pull here. You can see here, all these, another one there. Lots of blackgrass. When we look a bit further across here, I'll go to this patch here, there. So all these, it's just too, you can't pull these. There's just too much to pull when you look at these. It's the light coloured ears, you can see. There was some sticking up there. So sprayed them off to stop them seeding. We'll still hand pull the rest of the field. We actually have done that. The heap of blackgrass has been collected, so I can't show you how much was done, but just looking here now, actually also while I'm just looking for some blackgrass, if there's any been missed, show you this. This is the area that's sprayed off, so great shot here, because there is all the lovely grass, tussocky grass out the dike and the top of the dike bank. Little strip here, what we call a sterile strip's been sprayed with Roundup to stop the weed seed going into the crop. So you can see there, that is full of beautiful grass, tussocky grass for insects, wildlife. Here's clean. If it rains they can dry out. There's the crop. Straight away I can spot a sterile brome plant there that you can just see there sticking out that wheat. We'll pull that in a minute. Just have a look across here. This whole field has been rogued, as we call it, hand pulled. And I'll just see, I think I will, there was quite a bit down this side up here. I think I will bring the team in here again next week, just give it a chance to recover and come back again, and there'll be some they've missed, so we'll do this strip up this side again. But otherwise, this is a crop of cranium winter wheat after spring oats last year. Planted about October the 16th, 17th, I think, from memory. So just as I thought, they have missed a few. Can't be helped. Those little thin spindly ones there. Just thank you, Nala. That's it. Nala's highlighted them perfectly. So not many, they're not such big ears as some of the other blackgrass ones, but they'll still drop 200 or 300 seeds per ear. Got some more there. You can just see some, let me just highlight these there. So we need to come back here and just walk up this area again from the edge of the field there up to the tram line, which is 16 metres. Do this again. There's a plant brome there. You see that needs pulling. So yeah, there is a few here. We need to do this to make sure we've got on top of it. It's these sorts of things, attention to detail with blackgrass and brome, that you just cannot get enough of. You've got to be right on top of it to try and get rid of blackgrass. Got to reach to the bottom to pull the root, and I have pulled some wheat as well with this, as you can see. Thank you, Nala. But that doesn't matter. The important thing is to get that brome head there, which will make things worse next year. I'll let Nala carry it. There we go, Nala, thank you. Going to bring it back to the vehicle. Come on, bring it. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Just walking back to my truck, and you can just see here in this sprayed off patch, if I zoom in, the amount of blackgrass there is here. Way too much to pull. You can see the real fine spindly, light coloured ones that are just sticking up above the top of the wheat crop. Oh, look there, look. Way too much to pull. That's why I've sprayed it off with glyphosate. I'm just walking in the field where we had our spring barley direct drilling day last year, April the 6th. Some of you came to it, which was great. Thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed the day. I had a lot of feedback since, and from the results, and lots of questions, which is always good. And some of you came to the follow-up conference. Here you can see the field in the background. We've got barley in here now, spring barley. The field was soloed after last harvest, because it wanted some of the compaction removing, because if you remember, it was planted in not ideal conditions, but that's what you get with farming. So I've just wanted to show you this, but thank goodness we've had this rain. We had 23 mil, as you've just heard, this week. Thank goodness we had this rain, because this crop was it was coming into ear, and it was only about 15 inches high. I've got a tape measure with me. I'm just going to turn the camera around and just show you how high it is. But you'll see the ground's cracked still in the tram lines here. But yeah, quite pleased at the minute with what this crop of spring barley looks like. So it's next door to the field that we've just seen the blackgrass I've been talking about. But just look at this tram line. You won't believe that had nearly an inch of rain only a few days ago. Just shows how hard and dry and cracked it is. But looking at the crop, this crop was planted, I can't just remember exact date, but around the 25th of April, because we couldn't get on it any sooner. But it's not looking too bad, a little bit thin, but we did put more seed on. I think from memory it had 450 seeds a square metre, but looking quite even when you look across it. But just looking at the height of it, there's a nice butterfly, I don't know whether the camera's picked it up. Looking at the height of this, let me get it in the sun, and then you can see. So there's the tape measure. So we are looking at round about 2 feet high, which I think any spring barley that managed to get in February, planted in February, more than that, would be probably right up to the 70 or 80 centimetres mark. So this is like what we're looking at there, 60 centimetres high, 2 feet, and some of the early stuff would be up to 30 inches high, or 0.8 of a metre. But we'll see how this yields. I'm not holding out much hope for a decent yield, because went in late and it was so dry early on, but the rain last week has saved it. But it is looking really well and even right across the field, I must say. So this crop and all our spring barley is going for malting. So we have done some NMIN soil tests to see what nitrogen is in the soil coming out of the winter. We've targeted the nitrogen to try and give us 8 to 9 tonnes per hectare return, or put an amount of nitrogen on to deal with that yield. Whether it won't do that, I don't think now, because we are so late planting it. But that's had around, they all vary, the fields do, but anywhere between 120 and 140 kilograms a hectare of nitrogen. And if you put too much nitrogen on malting barley, that goes into the grain if you get a very dry time like we've had. And so the nitrogen content of the grain, which is all important for malting, if it's above about 1.8, it really isn't much good for malting, and the lower it is, 1.6, the better. There is 1 or 2 contracts you can get where it's 1.9, but the 1.8 nearly is the cut-off point. And if you get a lot of dry weather, the nitrogen you put on to make the crop grow and get the yields, that nitrogen goes into the grain, which then pushes up the grain nitrogen, which means the crop then only goes for feed, which is a lot lower price, instead of going for malting, which is a higher price. So again, the weather is the one that decides everything. We had a few loads out over the weekend. Now I've got these planings going out again today, Monday. Loading him with his own excavator. working with his own trailers. It's gone a bit solid in the heap, but this excavator's doing it with the teeth on the bucket well. We've just got to come with the Manitou and just clean up round the bottom. It's Monday morning, sun's out, it's a lot cooler today. We had 30.5 degrees yesterday in Lincolnshire, and today's apparently meant to be down to 17, 18, so a lot cooler, but it's fine because it was really hot yesterday. Just going to look at this field of sugar beet behind me. This is the one that we planted on May the 5th, I think it was, on the HEATHLAND. Really has come on a huge amount in the last week since we've had that rain. And also field in front of me where we had the wheat trials, which I've shown you 1 or 2 clips from, got quite a lot of small wild oats have just come up and just shown since the pullers were in here pulling the blackgrass. So we'll just have a look at that as well. Don't know whether the microphone is picking that up, that skylarks are singing hugely this morning. Lots of song life about. I haven't got that app on my phone downloaded yet. I think it's called Merlin. A few people have been telling me we need to look at that because it's great for identifying what birds are out there. So yeah, looking at this sugar beet, big improvements here, but you can see down this headland down the edge of the field here, not so good. That's the wet spot you can see in that bottom. Need to get Barry in when he's free with his digger just to come and investigate that, because we have got a problem there. Got quite a lot of mayweed here in this beet, which I'm not that happy about. I'm just toying with the idea of getting a hoe in, because some of this is quite big now and the chemicals haven't done it, so I'm just wondering about getting a hoe in here just to take this out, because I think it'll be a right mess, this field will, if we don't. Apologise for that not being in focus. Just see here on this headland the plant's a little bit gappy because it was quite it was on the borderline of being too wet when it was worked, but we had to do it to get it in. And when you look down here, it's not just about, well, not quite met in a row, but it's a nice soil this side of the field. Really has grown a huge amount in the last few weeks. So it's looking quite good. This field, we can't leave it too late in the ground before we harvest it, because we need to get wheat in here. We'll need to get this out of the ground by the end of October, or at least the early November, because we need to get wheat in, but it really needs leaving a bit later than that to put some maximum weight on. But we can't do it, we're going to have the yield compromise, and this is why normally we like to get the sugar beet planted on the heavy ground first to get the maximum yield from it. So normally we'll try and get in here 25th of March, so not planting it until the 5th of May, you can see it's going to give us a serious yield penalty. So just looking into the sun at these oats, you can see here these tall ones, quite a lot just here, and I can see quite a lot waving down at the side of those plots as well. We're just going to go and have a look down there. Nala's here and Frankie can't find us. That's right, Nala, that's where she is, right in those wild oats. Yeah, so just looking at these here, you can just see now, if I just get down right where Nala is, all these wild oats sticking up, and up there as well. Just get down. So we need to come back in here and go over this area of the field again, and this is where extra cost comes from. So this is the plots. All those on the left there have been sprayed with fungicides and various other things. Those on the right have had nothing apart from a herbicide, and you can just see as you walk down them. I mean, this one, Zayat, if you look at that, remember green leaf area is what we're looking for. This flag leaf that gives you 50% of the yield, this flag leaf has virtually gone here, completely gone with disease. Yet turn it round to here, this is the same variety, drilled exactly the same time with fungicides. Look at the difference. So it just shows you, and the green leaf area there, green is what we want, because obviously green is photosynthesis, that's light, and that's what gives us the yield. So just looking down all these varieties, you can just see that some of them don't look very good at all with the disease. And when you're going down, yeah, you've got this one as well, look, not quite so bad as what we've just seen. Then go to the left here, completely different story, so much better green area. And look at these flags, I'm just going to highlight that, there we go, So there's the 2 flag leaves. Let's just get them in the sun. One on the left has had no fungicides whatsoever. The one on the right's had 3 fungicides, even 4 actually, with growth regulators and everything. It just shows you what good they do. Actually, also just to show you how it contributes to yield or lack of, I'm just going to pick an ear from the untreated area and go across to this area that's had everything, and you'll see the difference in ear sizes. You can see there, and some of these other ones, big differences when you look on the ears that have had a fungicide against the ears that haven't. No fungicide there, whereas that one in the crop has had a fungicide. So big differences. Come on, Nala, come on, dogs. Little Frankie's wet, been in the crop. You lose her this time of year when the crop's just as tall as they are. Just interesting highlighting this variety, Gleam. Very popular variety around the country. We've got quite a lot of this in the ground. This is the area that hasn't had any fungicides, and everybody knows Gleam is not good for disease if you don't treat it and look after it. You can see the whole crop there has got a yellowy tinge to it compared to that new variety there, Blackstone. Both those have had no fungicides whatsoever, but you can just see looking at this. I'm just going to pull an ear as well as a leaf. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll pull a stem. There we go. So that is a stem, that's had nothing. Yet across here, this is the same variety, this has had everything. And when you look at the difference, I'm just going to try and put that amongst there. You can see straight away the yellow, and look at the ear here. Can you see all the yellowing of the grains? That's fusarium. That the plant gets that, and that's a disease in the grain. And you can see here very little of this in here because it's all been treated. Just highlight an ear side by side. I'll pull them up. There we go. One on the left has had no fungicides, the one on the right's had 4 fungicides with growth regulators. So it just shows what good they do. So just highlighting that and the plant protection products that we all use. I know there are some farmers, and I've got some farmers that are good friends. You'll see one. I'm going to go to a farmer in Suffolk who's a good friend of mine, John Pawsey, who's an organic farmer. I'm going to go and have a day with him and have a full update from him because he's really interesting. There is a place for organic farming, there's a place for organic food. But what you need to see when you see this here is if we didn't have any of these plant protection products, we would have a seriously shortage of food in this country. They really do help us preserve our self-sufficiency, which we know it's dropping, but it's dropping because of government policy, and this is why we need to fight to keep plant protection products, or chemicals as we call them, that look after the crop. Because don't forget, when we spray these crops and when we're treating them and looking after them, we're only doing it if they have a problem or to save them getting a problem, because we know the traits of the variety. It's no different to you going to a doctor not feeling very well and the doctor giving you antibiotics. When we treat these crops, we're giving these crops the equivalent of antibiotics to look after them and make them better. It's no different to a human being, but we need to do it, because if we don't, you can see by what we've just seen now, we'd get a seriously low yield of all these crops. Here's Nala, she's easily spotted. Come on. Yes, all right, Frankie, stop being a grump. Frankie's only 4 years old, and but the way she grumps and groans at Nala sometimes, you'd think she's about 10. But Nala is now 16 months old, and as you can see, a cracking dog. And I know some of you have met her at the open days and things, and she is a cracking dog. Actually, just thinking about these variety trials, if any of you want to come and have a look at these and look at anything else around the farm, please do get in touch with me, because I'll be more than happy to show you these in the next couple of weeks. Because once these crops start to go off, once they start to get to this sort of sequence and cycle getting ready for harvest, they lose the amount you can see. So at the minute it's at its peak, what you can see for disease. So if anybody wants to come and have a look, or look at anything else around the farm that we're doing, please just get in touch. Time for an update on these haricot beans. Looking well after the recent rain. Just turn the camera around so you can see what we're doing here with the various trials we've got happening. This big block here is for seed multiplication. These were planted around the middle of May, and this block here was planted 19th of May. We've got some companion crops here because these beans predominantly are difficult to stand, they make harvesting difficult. So we've got a companion crop of black oats next to them to see whether they're going to pull them up and make harvesting a bit easier. So we've got the black oats there, that's just at the side of the plant. They were put in with an Amazon precision drill. You can see there the black oats growing quite nicely along with the beans. Just walking back out the field, and I've spotted a ladybird on the underneath of that leaf until Nala's knocked it off. No, not quite. Nala, come out. Nala. There we go. Look at that. Fantastic. Just got down a bit lower. Look at that. What's being focused? Here we've got the black oats just alongside the bean row, and then now you can see the black oats are dead in the middle of the bean row, and we've got that just to see if there's any difference at harvest time, whether one holds the beans up more than the other. This is the reason for the companion crop, because these beans are difficult to harvest, and we're just hoping that the black oats will hold the beans up and make it easier to harvest, and then we separate the two crops out after harvest when we get them combined. These ones were planted towards the end of May. These are the last ones to go in the ground. The first plots that were planted, these went in the ground around the 5th of May, and you can see the row widths here, probably 15 centimetres wide, maybe 18-20 centimetres, somewhere there. There we go, yet another ladybird. This field's full of them, which is great to see. This wildflower margin is absolutely full of bees and insects. You can just see them there. Got a nice caterpillar there, but it's just alive with insects and activity. Butterflies, and it's full of habitat for wildlife. And this is what vast majority of the public don't see, what we're doing to help the environment, wildlife and nature. Just see there, more butterflies. Another one in there. Birds singing in the background. Perfect. So that's it for another midweek update. You can see Nala's having a bit of a swim. This is a imitation heron that we put in a few weeks ago, because Rhonda said that we've had a few herons here taking some fish, and Rhonda, she said if you put an imitation one here, it'll stop others coming in. So of course we put that one here, and what's happened, within a few hours we had two just across there, so it doesn't work. Anyway, you can see Nala loves going in the water, and we've got the young geese across there. They're actually just around the island here. We've still got one lot of those, and they're really big at the minute, and this is them. I've just put this clip overlaying it. This is them a few minutes ago, so you can see how big they are. Anyway, that's it for this midweek update. Thanks very much for watching. Please click like and share. It just helps the viewing figures. Thank you for that. I'm going to put a shorter update up on Friday, because I've got quite a lot of content at the minute, and I don't want to make the videos too long, so I'm going to put a short one up on Friday. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you on Friday.